Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and visit charterfish.com to go back through basically 10 years of articles and blog posts, videos and pictures, fishing reports. It's a treasure trove of information. Some of it's old and dusty and needs to be updated, but it's still worth taking a visit. So today I'm a little bit triggered. I see all these guys out here that this time of year, everybody's catching trout this time of year. It's not a terribly difficult thing to do. And the trout will hit almost anything that has a certain profile. If it looks like a glass minnow or a shrimp and it's in the right place at the right time, they're going to eat it. But guys are like, oh, this is the bait, and no, this is the bait over here, and I've got this secret bait, or they're blurring out their bait and pictures so that you can't see them. And let me tell you the secret to catching fish this time of year. You just got to fish where the fish are. If you are where the fish are, you can probably throw just about anything, an old sock or whatever, and the fish are going to eat it. So rather than follow the wintertime pattern of espousing a certain bait or lure that's only good for a short window, I want to do something for the beginners, the guys that I see at the gas station that don't quite have their rod rigged up the right way, or they're at the boat ramp and I see that they're close, they have an idea, but they took the thing out of the package and they weren't quite sure what to do with it. This is who that video is for. The guy that's never gone trout fishing before, doesn't really know how to do it here in coastal Georgia. This video is for you. If you're an advanced marsh ninja, it's probably not for you. So with that being said, please enjoy. Okay, so here's what you're gonna need. You need a stop knot. You can buy these by the bag full, or a lot of times they just come with the float. You need this small bead right here. This also usually comes with the float, or if you buy the bag of these stop knots that you can get at Academy, or just buy them online. These beads are going to come with them, and they're generally the right size to keep your cork from passing over your knot. The next thing you're going to need is your float. This is a Harper Super Striker. This is what I like to use because they're easy to see, and you will lose this cork before you break it. So you will get a ton of mileage out of your float, and they're local. This is a local captain, Travis Harper, that builds these things. So if for no other reason than that, I use those. Then once you've got your stop knot, your small bead, and your float, then you're going to use a slightly larger bead. And that's just to keep the float from getting beat up by your sinker and making a sharp edge that's going to cut your line or something. So after the bead, you're going to have a 3/4 ounce sinker if you're using the Harper Super Striker. If you're using something different, you have to figure out which one is going to make the cork stand up but not sink. So for the Super Striker, 3/4 ounce. And then you're going to tie on your leader and your hook. I like to use 20-pound test monofilament most of the time. There are circumstances where I deviate from that, but if I go to every little nuance that I use when fishing with floats, this is going to be a 3-hour video. So for the sake of keeping it simple, use 20-pound monofilament and make your leader 18 to 24 inches long. The longer it is, the more it's going to whip around when it casts. So you got to find that happy medium, which is somewhere between 18 and 24 inches, and that'll be just fine. I like to use a #1 Kale hook. You can use Gamakatsu, Eagle Claw, Owner, whatever you like. This is an Owner, and it's a #1. It's a good all-around size hook. So to put all this together, you're going to start, here's my main line. My rod's over here to my right. You can't quite see it, but you're going to start out and you're going to thread your main line through this plastic tube that the stop knot is on. Then you're going to just kind of push that tube out of the way, and you can discard the little plastic tube, and it's going to leave your stop knot loosely around your main line, and you're going to tighten it. So just grab each end, pull them away from each other, and give that thing a good shake like you're mad at it. Because the last thing you want to do is get all of this stuff on there, and then your knot comes loose, and you've got to cut everything off and re-rig it. trim these tag ends nice and close so you don't look like a noob. There's only 2 reasons for you to have these tag ends left on here. 1 is you're new and you don't know any better. 2 is that you're too lazy to just simply trim them. So look at that, nice and neat. So now that your stop knot's on there, you're gonna get this small bead. Very small, I know it's hard for you to see, but basically this bead is, the hole through it is small enough to prevent your line from, to prevent your cork from going past the stop knot. So this bead's gonna be able to slide right up to the knot and stop, because otherwise this cork, especially the Super Striker, because Travis knows how much we hate threading line, the Super Striker's got a nice big tube running through it. So if you don't have that bead, it will definitely pass over the stop knot. So now you're gonna feed your line through the top of the float. So far we've got the stop knot, we've got the small bead, and now we've got the float. So there are those 3 things. You're gonna keep a hold of this end of your line. You're gonna take your big bead. This is just a precautionary thing here to keep you from having to worry about your sinker beating up your float. Let's see, I got a little bit of a fray on the end of this thing. It's making my life a little bit hard right now. Let's try going the other way with it. This is a used bead, and one end is also flattened out a little bit. So, bam, got it. All right, so now we have 4 things on here. Stop knot, small bead, cork, big bead. Still hanging on to this end. You'll hear people call these trout weights, trout sinkers. Is more technically called a trolling sinker. So if you are looking on Amazon or whatever and you can't find them, search trolling sinker. And this is a 3/4 ounce. These will often come with a swivel on one end. If that's the case, cut that swivel off. It's going to cause you more harm than it's going to do good. The swivel is just mainly to keep, to make sure that your line can twist, or that your bait can twist without twisting your line. You're not really worried about that here, so cut it off, and it's going to keep you from getting tangles when you cast. Just have the solid eyes on either end of the sinker. That's all you need. So we're going to tie our main line off here with an improved clinch knot or your termination knot of choice. I use an improved clinch knot because I know it's going to hold and it's easy for me to tie. I can do it in my sleep. If you're one of those Palomar guys or you want to tie a uni knot or whatever, knock yourself out, man. I'm not mad at you. So tighten that up, trim that tag in so you don't look like you're lazy or a new guy. And now we have stop knot, small bead, float, big bead, sinker. I don't know if that was on camera or not. Stop knot, small bead, float, big bead, sinker. And now we're going to tie our 20-pound main line to this side of the sinker. 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, back through. Another improved clinch knot to tie that. Boom. And guess what? You're going to trim your tag end. This isn't just for looks or to prove that you're not lazy. This is because it sticks straight out and it's something that will catch your line and wind up causing you heartache down the road. So trim that nice and tight. And then on the other end, you're going to put another hook, which I've already tied to save time, and you're going to trim that tag end as well. So the idea of this rig is that you can slide this knot up and down your line according to how deep you're fishing, and then the cork will slide up, catch the knot, and that's how you set your depth. That's it. Thanks. Tight lines.